Second Samuel 9 through 11. Here we have a beautiful picture of the graciousness of David. Sure, we often think of David's shortcomings, but he's a man after God's heart. Here is some of the good stuff. He brings crippled Mephibosheth, Jonathan's son, into his home, restores all the land to him which he has inherited from Saul, and promises him that he will eat at the king's table regularly. David has been shown mercy by his God, and so he shows it to another. David sees another when he looks at Mephibosheth. He sees Jonathan. God sees Jesus and his cleansing blood, which covers us when he looks at us. Some have said David and Mephibosheth probably talked a whole lot about Jonathan as they sat regularly and ate together. Oh, how wonderful when we sit together and talk about the other one, Jesus Christ, that we have in common. Next, we see David offering goodwill to Ammonite King Hanun as his father Nahash had died. Nahash had shown kindness to David, and he was returning the favor. But the Ammonites misunderstood his genuine offer of kindness and humiliated David's men by shaving off their beards and cutting off their garments. Have you ever been misunderstood when you were genuinely being kind? People are often paranoid and can't believe you're just being kind, that you must have some other motive. This is the way of God, not of the world, and is often misunderstood. God gave the Ammonites and the Arameans who were helping them into Israel's hands, but it didn't have to be this way. So we have seen a couple of examples here of the gracious and kind character of David, but next we see the other side. It was a time when David should have been at war with his men, but he stayed home. Maybe he was influenced by the comforts of home. Maybe he was getting complacent, losing his edge, starting to compromise. He saw Bathsheba bathing across the way on her roof. Bathsheba has some responsibility here, and so does every woman that might present herself as tempting to a man. But David is responsible, and he has Bathsheba brought to him, lays with her, and she becomes pregnant. Her husband is Uriah, and he is out fighting with Israel. David calls him home and acts like he's just wondering how the battle is going. But what he really wants is for Uriah to go lay with his wife so no one will know David is the one who got her pregnant. Uriah is of such character that he won't enjoy that comfort while his pals are fighting. Next, David gets him drunk, hoping that then he'll go for it, but that doesn't work either. Next, after Uriah returns to battle, David sets it up where Joab puts Uriah in a place where he'll be killed. When this occurs, David brings Bathsheba in and takes her as his wife. Oh my, adultery and then murder. Here's what God's word is on this. But the thing that David had done was evil in the sight of the Lord. Yes, the believer can sin, and it can be ugly. There will be consequences for our sin. God will not be mocked. Nothing is hidden before him, no matter how clever we are. Can we fall into sin? Yes. Do we have to fall into sin? No. Can you and I learn something from David? Oh, yes. It's not worth it. We will see how God deals with David's sin. Luke 15, 11 through 32. Here we have the parable of the lost son as Jesus continues with his theme of the graciousness of God who loves and seeks the lost. This younger son had gone into the far country with his father's money and spent it all with loose living. He became desperate and decided to return home and asked to be a slave in his father's home. The father, who was looking for him every day, note that, graciously met him, took him in, and threw a party for him. That's how God the Father deals with us. He's looking for you. Maybe you've been in the far country. I know I have. Come on home and the Father will welcome you as his son. The older brother was angry because of the awesome grace and mercy the Father extended to the rebellious younger son. It sounds like the older son didn't realize that he too was a son because of the grace and mercy of the Father. It sounds like the older son thought he deserved what he had, and the younger son didn't. Friends, none of us deserve what the Father offers, but we can all come to the Father's house and enjoy being his sons and daughters because of his awesome grace and mercy through faith in Jesus Christ.